Hey guys, in the last video you may have noticed that we had a water pump failure in our van. Now this can be a very common problem in a lot of modern RVs and caravans. In this video I'm going to show you what we did to rectify the problem, and then also we added something to make it even better. Hey guys, so we've had a little bit of a hiccup where our water pump that supplies water to the whole van has stopped working. So this only happened just a few days ago. Did a diagnosis on it just to check out to see what was actually going on. Check the fuses, no fuses has blown. Check the circuit breakers, nothing had blown there. Got the multimeter out. Put the multimeter then onto the connection that's on the pump, and yep, there's 13 volts coming through. Hit the switch to isolate it, voltage goes back to 0, turn it back on again, voltage. So the pump has got voltage going to it, so that wasn't the issue. So it looks like the only thing that's left now is that either the motor has burnt out or the pressure switch has gone on it. So we got hold of Mavericks, put in a warranty claim, and they've been awesome. They sent out a new one in the mail. So we actually come into Geraldton. Geraldton is the closest town from where we were. Got it sent into the Geraldton post office, and Margie just got the call to say that it's arrived. So it's only taken a few days for them to send it up here. So yeah, we're about to go into the post office and grab the new water pump so we can get this fixed and get water back in the van. Alright, we're here at the post office to pick up this part. Hopefully it's here. Okay, slight hitch. The parcel was actually sent in Margie's name, so she's going to have to run in and grab it. So I'm just going to grab Margie now, and she'll grab the parcel. Got it! Hey, you picked it up. Excellent. Yes. All right, let's get this thing installed.
Let's go.
Okay, so we've picked up the new pump that we've got here now that we're going to replace the old pump with. Now I've also picked up an accumulator. So doing a little bit of research, these pumps are actually very prone to burning out the switch, so the pressure switch, and that's because when the pump turns on, it gives the full force of the pressure into the pipes, and when you're only turning your tap on a little bit, the pump then tends to oscillate quite quickly, so on off on off on off while it's trying to maintain that pressure. Now when that does that quite rapidly, and if it does it for long sustained periods of time, that poor little pressure switch works overtime and can only take so much, and generally they burn out or fail. So one of the things that you can do is to add a accumulator into the system. That then allows the pressure within the whole system to be held within this tank, and then when you turn the tap on only a little bit, instead of turning the pressure pump on straight away, the water will come out of the pressure that's actually built up in here, feed through, and then the pump will only then turn on a little bit later to repressurize the system. So then when you turn the tap off, the pump will go for a little bit longer, pressurize this up as well, and then turn off. So the pump then should only turn on and off with longer intervals instead of rapidly on and off all the time. It can also make the system quieter, and also take away if you do get any sort of tap hammer or anything like that that's within the system. So yeah, so I thought, well, while we're changing over the pump, may as well put one of these accumulators in it as well. So I'll show you how I do that. A couple of other things that I'm going to do. I'm just going to reposition the pump as well, because the pump is actually touching on the wheel arch that's in here, and it's also the hose, one of the inlet hoses is also touching the side. So anytime you've got those hoses that are touching something else, you will get more sound and more volume of the sound of the pump coming through and resonating through the van. So if we can do a little bit of an adjustment there, should be able to quieten down the system as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is remove the pump, so get rid of the old one out of the system. So before you do that, two things that you've got to do. First one, isolate the pump, so make sure that there's no power going through to the pump, and then also shutting off the water. So when you shut off the water, make sure as well you open up the taps, release any pressure, because when you end up opening up the lines, if you don't, you'll get a face full of water. There we go. That's the old one out. Right, now with the pump out the way, I can now crimp on the new electrical connectors. Now I'm going to put some heat shrink on just to make sure those connectors are nice and insulated. Now this time when I install the pump, I'm just going to make sure that it doesn't strike anywhere against any of the side of the cupboard or any of the other pipes. Before, the inlet pipe was actually just striking up against this little cover, and then also the housing of the pump was also striking against the wheel arch. So now I've been able to move it up and across a little bit, and now we've got clearance, so yep, that should be pretty good like that. Okay, that's now got the pump mounted, doesn't strike anywhere, rubber mounts allow it to move, looking good. Now I'm going to wrap up the wiring loom with some insulation tape just to make it nice, neat and tidy. Now I'm going to refit the inlet water pipe. These water pipes have got the quick connect fittings on them, which make them super easy to disconnect the pipes and to connect them back up again. Now it's time to add in the new accumulator. Now when putting in an accumulator, you always put it in between the outlet of the pump and the inlet to where the water goes through to the van. Okay, so looks like I'm going to have to just shift the inverter. The inverter just seems to be a little bit too close to the water pipes for my liking. So I'm just going to move the inverter a little bit further away so that's completely clear of any of the water pipes. Right, now I've shifted the inverter to give room for the pipe work for the new accumulator. I've worked out whereabouts I want it to go, so now let's connect it up. Okay, everything's all connected up. Now, moment of truth, let's see if it goes. Alright, so far that looks pretty good. Let's grab the torch and have a look, see if there's any leaks. Nope, that's looking pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll turn the tap on quite slowly and listen to hear what the pump does just by turning the tap on slowly. Right, so that's with the tap only turning slowly. Normally, what would that would do without the accumulator is the pump would just go on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off really quite rapidly. And that switch is just working overtime. Now, as you could hear, it was only turning on and off every now and again because it was taking the pressure out of the accumulator while the pump is not working. Then when the pressure drops down enough, the pump kicks in then and builds it back up again. So, job done. That's got the new pump installed, put the accumulator in, we got running water again, all nice and quiet. We're ready to go back off grid again.